안녕하십니까. 저는 매튜입니다. 한국 이름 임국수. 오늘 한국 밴드 리뷰해요. 나쁘지 않아요? Hehe. My Korean's not that bad, eh? What's up, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazable, doing what he does best, music reviews, having fun. Thanks for coming on by, and thanks for discovering me if you're new to the channel. Today, I am checking out the latest release from a band called Chain Reaction with their newest album called A Love Supreme. For those who don't know, Chain Reaction is a Screamo slash post-hardcore band that started in Seoul, South Korea in 2015 and have been going strong since then. This is their second newest album, but they released their first album back in 2019 called Creatures. And, they've been a very hardworking, very emotionally charged band that's done a lot of live performances, has toured abroad a little bit here and there, and they constantly play shows in and around Korea all the time. I've seen them countless times. They put on very, very energetic, lively shows, and like I said, emotional. It's very emotionally charged music. It's very chaotic. It's very all over the place. And so they have been one of the strongest bands coming out of the scene for the past 10 years. And I'm really surprised that they started in 2015. I thought they were a little bit of an older band, but hey, we learn something new every day. So I'm excited to talk about a band from my scene and just what I feel about this latest album, A Love Supreme. And I'd have to say this latest album from Chain Reaction, A Love Supreme, is a very ambitious, emotionally charged sonic journey that sits between, melancholy like Screamo and very post-hardcore experimentation. They are definitely flexing and, trying to move outside of their normal style of, I guess you could say, rock style music and just have a little bit more of a textured sound this time around. And I think with the opening song Numb, it's showing that the band is, not trying to play it safe with this newer style that they're going with, because it kind of eases the listener in with a very slow guitar riff buildup, and it just builds and builds and adds like a very brooding tension to the overall atmosphere of this song. And that tension, it accumulates over a very lengthy intro. Some might like it, some might not, but it is a long intro. But after that, it explodes into a very high register amount of screams and very rapid fire drum work. And while listening to this song, there was a very palpable, like you could feel the dread and sadness through all of the fast and chaotic moments of this song, giving the song a very weighted feel to it that lingers long after you've listened to the song. It's funny, it's called Numb, but I feel like it doesn't really leave you too numb afterwards. It makes you feel. And I will say the bass playing on this particular song, it's a little bit low in the mix, but what really gives a lot of backbone to the song is the drum work here. And throughout this whole song, there's this like push and pull feel between, slower melodic sections and then sudden bursts of intensity. And that is a thread that is very constant throughout this whole album. Aggression one moment and then reflection the next. Just like the song Numb, Evidence is kind of similar in terms of, balancing out eerie riffs and having very layered screams. But the song feels a little bit too rigid at times, so it doesn't flow and feel as loose as compared to the song Numb. The band does experiment with a lot of chugging riffs and technical strumming here, but occasionally the track kind of just wanders off a little bit. So it does test your, I guess, listening patience because it gets lost in the sauce a bit at times. Then you have the song Buried Mind, where the bass finally kind of comes in a little bit. It has more of a presence. And, the mid-tempo rhythms really paired with some very visceral screams give the song a little bit of more of a grounded feel to it. Then the album really shines on the song Empty Out, where there's kind of like almost some southern bluesy style riffs here and some really dynamic drumming that really gives the song a real punch and a very distorted intensity to it. And here, the vocals, they're a very distinctive style of vocals. They have a very piercing feel to it that I think people might either like or not like. But on this particular track, they're very effective by perfectly just like capturing the raw aggression that the band is putting out here. By contrast, you have the next song, The Fault, where it's a little bit of like a simpler song in terms of grooves, structure. It's very competent, but it does feel a little bit unremarkable compared to other songs. It's not great, it's not bad, it just kind of sits there And again, the bass feels a little bit buried in the mix, so it doesn't really stand out that much. And then you get some moments of relief with the song's reprise and timeline, which kind of explore more softer ambient sonic textures, and just some dreamy synths are added to the overall presentation from the band. So it does elevate the tracks a little bit. Here, the band kind of experiments with some really husky, clean vocals and some very gentle dynamics overall in terms of the band's playing, creating a very spacey, very emotional, like reflective moment on this album, which has a lot of chaos to it. So it really calms things down. As they say, a really good even flow to things. And then you have the song Mirrors, which tries to capture that same ambient, soft texture here, but you know, the very distant vocals and the understated backing vocals really make this track feel a little bit on the hollow side, despite having some very effective guitar work. And then the album closes out on the big song, their title track of this album, A Love Supreme, which is an 11-minute journey that just really summarizes the band really nicely here, because the band has ambition for sure, but they kind of feel a little bit self-indulgent a little bit times. The first half of the song is just filled with fast-paced riffs and just relentless drum work, and it's very dominating, and it's a little bit exhausting in length. So after that very intense long intro, the song really opens up with some like sweeping choir-like vocals and some very melodic sections. It's a very bold and emotionally and just weighted song, but it requires a lot of patience to really fully appreciate the highs of this song. At the end of the day, A Love Supreme is a very compelling listen for, you know, melodic, screamo, and post-hardcore experimentation. But unfortunately, at times, it does suffer from really long songs and long intros at times. Some buried mixes, the bass, and some of the screams at times, the vocals, they are kind of hard to hear. And then the structural rigidity of everything. The band, the guitars at times can be a little bit on the stiff side. I won't deny it, the guys in the band have a lot of skill, a lot of passion, and a lot of ambition for the music they're making here. They're creating art here for sure. But, you know, the album really does try to stretch itself out a little bit too thin and try and find this footing in this new experimental sound they're going with. You know, the raw intensity and the reflective ambience of everything is really good, but some of the execution at times, like I said before, it's not well executed at times. The highs are highs and the lows are quite soft at times. But I would say the middle ground of this album is where the listener is going to find whether they're going to really connect with this album or they're not really going to really care too much. So it's a very mixed bag of emotions with this latest Chain Reaction album, A Love Supreme. You're going to like it a lot. You're not going to like it a lot. I think it's somewhere in between that. So overall, I would give this latest release from a chain, not a Chain Reaction, but Chain Reaction, A Love Supreme, an okay to decent 6.5 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think about this band. Check out the links that are probably up here right now. And 감사합니다. 다음에 봐요. See you in the pit. Good things about you.